The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Tuesday, the 3rd day of October 2023. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, People's Pharmacy, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman, and he's back. Guest hosting with us, Roger Denbrook. Morning, Rod. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm great today.
Yeah, I love to hear it. Raj, it was a struggle this morning, man. I didn't make it for my jog. I was extra tired. I think there's a tired bug going on. You know, I think what happens is after the summertime, you know, our bodies are like, okay, you've had all your fun. I ain't done nothing, by the way, but you know, your party told you that anyway, you mind. And it's like, you've had your fun, now it's time to rest. I think it's hibernation season. Is that right?
It is. There's a distinct coolness in the air in Bermuda at night. It's the fall coolness. And last night it hit me. And my body said it's time to rest. So yeah, I feel like our bodies are hitting that switch right now. Because the struggle was mutual this morning.
and Maya yesterday. So just yeah. Now, but this is the thing. I always tell people, look, man, we gotta listen to our bodies. You know, even I was talking to someone last night, and we were talking about self-care and saying, how is it in 2023 we're still promoting a 5-day, like 8-hour work week? It's not healthy. And I'm speaking from an entrepreneur business perspective, right? We should be able to do what we have to do within this, you know, times that allow us self-care and to be family time and so on. But we currently live in a time, like, we changed laws, right? And policies from many years ago that are archaic, right? But we don't change the way that we work. I've always said, or question, I should say, how we've normalized an 8-hour, 40-hour a week, 5-day a week work day. When to me, you come to a weekend and guess what you're doing? You think you're going to relax? No, you've got chores to do. You got to do your laundry. You don't even have time to take care of yourself. Go for a run, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, we got to take care of ourselves, and it's time people start questioning laws, policies, and I know it was a time when unions and labor meant something in Bermuda, but something has to change.
Yeah, no, the 40-hour work week is an antiquated standard. It was literally created for a different time, for a different purpose. And I love young people, like around, they have this inherent mistrust of the world of work. And what was it? There was the Great Resignation, right after. And it was driven by young people. And I remember I saw this post the other day, and it was like, yeah, we're breaking the system, and it's great. This young woman said, this person did a post, young people are quitting, keep changing their jobs. That's not how you play the game. And this young woman replied to the post and said, I've changed my job 3 times this year. My salary has gone from $45K to $50K to $80K. And I'm now working remotely. And things are changing.
Yeah, and folks, both of us, I tell you what, we love to work. Don't get us wrong. But we also believe and understand the importance of self-care, family, and overall good mental, emotional, and physical health. And
this is it.
It's almost impossible.
You know what? I will give a really good example. Everybody knows I'm a parent. Most people know I'm a parent. I am inherently suspicious of a systemic standard that says my children have to be raised in a systemic and organizational environment rather than be home with me so that I can raise them, right? And the only reason that exists is because I have to go to work. So I see them for about an hour in the morning, 2 or 3 hours at night. That makes me inherently uncomfortable because I don't have that relationship with my kids. And I'll tell you, during the pandemic, during remote learning, it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I remember when I was in college or something, they said, we spend more time at work or in school than we do with our families. And to me, something about that just didn't seem right, but it was normalized. And I think we don't understand as a community the difference between right and normalized. And that brings us to today's conversation. But greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome on Callan Bassett. We're going to be discussing Lynk. It's a new concept to connect the community to contractors and service providers. So very interesting. The daily players will remember when history for Raj. I don't know if he's got this. Let's see. And don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Well, let's get into today's question. So, folks, not sure if you missed it, but I'll just share on the screen. There was this. This was shared on social media last week, and it's basically a notice that is aimed at Delwood Middle School students. Based on this, I guess they had some issues at the store, Treats Limited. I believe Treats is where I used to get my candies, right, Raj?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the candy store. So there was this notice that must have been put up, and it seems to have split people in the community. But as you can see, due to constant unacceptable behavior, students from Delwood Middle School are forbidden from entering Treats Limited unless stated otherwise by staff. Now, for one, I guess what they mean is children in Delwood Middle School uniforms, because it would be hard to distinguish if they're not in uniform. So the question of the morning, based on this, very simple, is what can we learn from the store ban on school children? I know so many people have been speaking about Jack and Jill's back in the day, right? Jack and Jill's was a store. I don't know if it was around when you were around, Raj, but it was a candy store on that hill there, across from Victoria Park. I forget what the hill's called, but audience, you know what the hill's called. But Jack and Jill's was there. And I just remember everyone, like black people in my circle, saying, avoid that place, it's racist, this and that. The owners would say, no, it's not racist, but children come in here, they steal, they are disrespectful, so on. That seems to be the same thing here. Is like you have some people saying, oh, this is racism. They wouldn't do this to BHS or work soldiers, whatever. Calling different school names. And I think we need to have a conversation, because my question, Roger, is, what can we learn from the store ban on school children? There are lessons in this, and I just want to know if we can brainstorm and figure out what the lessons are. So again, folks, this is a notice that has been confirmed, put on the store, and basically banning Delwood Middle School students from Treats Limited. Some people feel this is racism, is out of hand. Some people agree. I'll put it to you like this, and I've said this on this show before. Many times. Private entities, whether we like it or not, it's like going to a nightclub, right? If you go to a nightclub and they say no sneakers allowed, no t-shirts, that private establishment can legally discriminate against you. If it's a form of legal discrimination. There's discrimination, protected classes, and then there's discrimination to protect the integrity or protect their people, right? I always give this extreme example, but if you own a coaching facility or a tutoring facility, right, and someone applies that has a record of child molestation, well, you have the right to discriminate against that person to protect the children. So my point is it racism? Is it a form of protecting their establishment against known perpetrators? I think we need to have this conversation, because it seems like the community is split. So again, What are your thoughts, audience? What can we learn from the store ban on school children? Raj, you seem like you have a lot to say.
This is clearly a business owner who is at the end of their rope. This is a last resort. I don't think any business, especially somebody who runs a candy store for children, that's going to be their first course of action when dealing with sort of antisocial behavior at their establishment. So that's, and I'm saying that from an outside perspective. I'm also going to say it from a slightly inside perspective, because I went to school with the owner of Treats. So I know her. And this is not something that she's going to do lightly, or if maybe it didn't come from her, maybe it was her staff who've had enough. Either way, I'm sure this is something that also upsets her. Now, secondly, people who, and speaking as somebody who's worked with young people a lot, it's basically been my career for the last 11 years. And I taught at Delwood for 2 years as well, a few years ago. When you value yourself and when you value your community, you're going to behave like you do. The young people involved in these incidents, they clearly don't value community and they don't value themselves. This has been an issue in Bermuda for too long now. I am really quite sick and tired of hearing people say, young people, they don't know how to behave, they don't know how to act, etc., etc. I have 2 children. Jamel, if Cirillo and Winter ever, but they wouldn't. I know that they wouldn't, because they value themselves and they value their community. They're not going to want to disturb a business, and they're not going to want to badly represent themselves, right? And they're not going to want to do things that's going to make it difficult for other children. You have a community-driven collective mindset. So the question really is, what are we doing or not doing as a people? And I'm going to say as a people, where we're raising these kinds of young people. I think that's what the question is.
Yeah.
So instead of looking at our young people who developmentally are hormonally, neurologically, their decision-making is inherently incomplete, right? 11, 12, 13 years old, they're crazy. Those kids, they are mental, right? But and I'm saying that facetiously, but
I think you're right, because their minds are so. It's what I used to say, Roger, regarding conscription and the regiment. It's like you don't wait to, and I hate to compare us to dogs all the time, but you don't wait to the dog is grown to try to train it, right? You train it as a puppy. So those are the ages right there. Their minds are so fragile. And you need to be in their heads. You need to be pulling them, not letting them pull you and dictate, right? I believe you're speaking science this morning. We when the question is there, what can we learn from this? We can learn exactly what Roger just said. Where are we going wrong where this generation feels like they can go and do that? But Roger, let me share some of the Instagram replies, because we just asked on Instagram, we asked people what are their thoughts, right? And audience, feel free to disagree with us. Trust me. I mean, it's not going to hurt my feelings. I just feel I think, and I'm not saying you have to be a business owner to have an understanding of this. I'm simply saying that think of it if it were your home, because to some people, their businesses are like their homes, right? And based on this, it seems like there was some behavior that, as Roger said, wasn't out of the blue, right? Likely wasn't out of the blue. So we asked, what are your thoughts on Instagram? And some of the responses said, but it has to be done, right? Another response says, good on the business taking a stand. Another response says, unfortunate that this has to happen. Another response says, I want to know if they also contacted the school so they're informed of the behavior. Let's touch on that real quickly, Raj. Does the business have a responsibility? So here's the thing. I don't think they have a responsibility to reach out to the school. At the end of the day, it's almost like saying, if a child steals from your establishment, you have a responsibility to call their parents before the police. No, you don't. If you want to be generous and nice about it, but if you've seen this child do it over and over, what I'm not going to do on this show, and you all know, I love Black people, Black children. I want to see Black children become more than what we are. But what I'm not going to do is sit here and let the racial argument weaken, because we have some badass kids out here doing things that they know they should not be doing. So I'm not about to sit here and make excuses and allow them to weaken the arguments that we're trying to make to build a better community for us. So no, I don't think they should have had to. If you come in my establishment, no, you're not coming in. No, I know some people may say, yeah, but they put the school's name out there and, it's not everyone in the school. No, it's not. No. Would I reach out to the school? Yes, I would. But I don't feel like that is a must and they have to reach out to the school. I would do it because that's the kind of person I am. And also because they have a pretty cool principal that raps. I think she would be down to earth and be able to connect with those students who are guilty. This person may not know that. All they know is their business has been interrupted by a group of children who wear a certain uniform.
I look forward. I'm gonna. It's like no. We agree. I look forward to the day where we shift into being a genuinely restorative society. Right? We are, and the Western world is very punitive driven. Right? It's driven by punishment. When you're being restorative, it's about the relationship. It's about the inherent value of the individual, and it's about learning a lesson, not avoiding consequences, because the consequence needs to be given. But it's not about getting someone in trouble and letting that be it. It's about how do we get you to be as excellent as you are as a community. And again, that's a very Western thing, right? Pre-colonial indigenous peoples, it was not about punitive. They're like, we're going to give you a punishment, but you're our child. You are one of us. Clearly, we have messed up somehow that you're like this. So how are we going to fix this, right? So I do think, and it will be lovely, being restorative practices is embedded in law. So when things like that happen, like if we amend the Child Act somehow, if a minor is doing something illegal, you then have to do something rehabilitative with them, right? So the business would contact the school. Some sort of restorative something would be triggered where you have to do a restorative conference with the store owner. Those kids are put on a behavior plan of some kind. They're connected to services of some sort because maybe something's going on at home with them or something, instead of simply going, stay out of my store.
Well, you know what, Raj? I remember I was working at Arnold's, right? And Barclay students used to steal from that place all the time. Not all of them, obviously, but they used to. And I remember one time the manager caught one. And he called the police, and it broke me. Because respectfully, it was a young nerdy guy, big glasses, whatever. And he said he was being bullied to go and get stuff and bring it back, right? And the manager had no sympathy. He just was, no, calling the police, whatever. And for me, I'm just like, I think there were other avenues to take. Because to me, there was a root cause here that we weren't even addressing. We weren't even trying to go that route. If the child's being bullied, then there's another, we need to go that path, right? We need to go there. So I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly in that. Let's go through some other Instagram responses. Then we'll go live. So another person says, Raj, this should have been addressed via the school first. Do you agree they should have went through the school first?
No, I think they needed to do what they needed to do as a business. But I do think at some point in them doing what they needed to do as a business, they should have reached out to the school.
Okay. Someone just with a shock face. Someone said root cause, just like bullying. How can we uncover what motivates this behavior? I think Raj kind of touched on that earlier. Slippery slope of innocent suffering because of the guilty. Yeah. Got a detention one time because of other people. Why shame the entire school? They'll never shame DHS or assaulters in this manner.
And I think that's big. That's true. I completely agree with that. And that is racial. There is something very racialized about it.
We're not saying that this is not racial. I mean, we know what Delwood is, right? I used to mentor a student. Have to be.
But to say that the store owners' action is somehow racially motivated, I don't agree with that. But how people perceive the incident afterwards,
right.
I can.
I mean, they ain't Jamal Hartman. I'm gonna call BHS soldiers.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm gonna call.
Hey, I'm not gonna say. I mean, some things I've heard recently.
But someone says, did they call the school first? All right, let's go to the live audience. What I will say is, I don't know Principal Correa, but if there's one school that it had to be, or it was going to be where you think it could be turned around, based on how she was engaging the rep, I think that this would be a great story from the start of the year to the end of the year. And I think Charles H. Jeffers says something right here. He says, I see this as an opportunity for Dawood and the steward to partner to teach students about the consequences of their actions. I think there's lessons here. So the question is, what can we learn from the store band? I think the lesson is, from a store perspective, if they didn't work with the school. From the school perspective, I don't know if the school has addressed it yet, but literally just create a bridge there. Have the students do some community service on behalf of the school. I think there is a bridge here that can create some sort of medium where the students can learn where they went wrong, right? I think there is. Samcat Place says it's not discrimination. They need to protect themselves. The kids don't listen, they will feel. They need to learn accountability even at that age. They know better. I'm sure the principal agrees. I want to also say this, Raj. People say innocent suffer for the guilty. You know what comes into mind for me? Accountability. There are students who may be innocent but know what's going on. Hold your peers accountable for their actions. Manuela John says, when I was in school, one of my uncles always told us not to disrespect our school. Uniforms identify the school. You need to respect yourself in order to respect others. And Tanya Cheeseman says, lack of punishment and accountability is a part of the issue. So I guess some of the lessons is there seems to be a lack of accountability in this space. I think I'm going to go back to what Charles H. Jefferson II said. This is a great opportunity. At our lowest, we need to see the opportunities that exist for us to mend these broken spaces, right? Thank you. We didn't say it, but Mark Austin Phillips says, good morning, TDH family. Congrats on episode number 800. Yes, we are 800 live episodes in today. Nice. Wow, I think I've done about 755 of them. And that means waking up early that many times. Yes, so appreciate you. Just a quick yes or no from the audience. Just yes or no. Do you agree with the store putting out that notice? Do you agree with the store putting up this notice? Yes or no in the audience. Do you agree with Treats Limited putting up this notice? Yes or no? Just a quick yes or no. Raj, do you agree with them putting out it? It's happened. Do you agree with them putting it up?
I agree that they need to protect their business. And again, this is not something that was done, I think, in the first instance. I think this is something that's been going on for a bit, and it's the last resort. So, and actions do have consequences. So I do agree with it being put up. It's not, and you know what? It's not the business owner's responsibility to facilitate or manage the discourse after this. Right? It's not their responsibility to go, oh, it's not all of them, so I need to make sure everybody knows it's not all the Delwood students, or I'm not trying to make young Black kids look bad, so I need to do. No, that's not their responsibility. That's our responsibility as a community to have that conversation afterwards. And you remember that quote from Wakanda, Black Panther? Shoot. From the first one, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a real African proverb, but it's good. The child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. Listen, where I'm living right now, there's a group of about 10 young Black men, not a day over 16, 17, who roam around the neighborhood. They look rough, right? But it's just an aesthetic. That's not who they are, right? But they try to look rough. And they walk past the house, they don't speak, and I go outside, I make sure I speak to them, that like they feel connected to the surroundings, etc. But I'm always sitting here going, why do you feel the need to embody yourself with that kind of aesthetic? You don't live in the ghetto. So obviously this is an internalized, imported aesthetic. Why is it important for you to have this rough look and to walk around the neighborhood and like with this rough presence? That's the question that we need to be asking, right? Not, oh, these lot, they don't know how to behave. It's like, no. Well, why do they feel the need to do that?
Well, let's go back, because we did ask the audience, yes or no, do they agree with the sign being put up? Traveling Trotty says no. Monica Dunstan says yes. Praying Cheeseman says yes. Ebony Susan says yes. Mama always said the innocent suffer for the guilty. I'll say this much. It was all over the U.S. news just last week before. Target, Walmart, some of the biggest retailers are shutting down stores across the U.S. The most biggest one, I think, is the Target in Harlem. Why are these retailers shutting down? Why are they eliminating jobs and leaving these places? Because of theft. People can keep stealing. And it's costing them, apparently, billions of dollars. Speaking to a business owner in Bermuda, talking about that. They sent it to me. Said, we face the same thing in Bermuda. What I'll say to anyone who thinks that this store was wrong, I'm not saying that they were right, but I would say, consider yourself the business owner. Remember what I said yesterday. Businesses exist to generate revenue and make a profit. If they can't do that in the community due to people taken from them, don't complain when those companies are gone and the jobs disappear. And those same people who are taken from them begin to come to your house to take from you. It's time for the Daily Hour news break. And then we have our guest for the day, Callan Bassett, coming up. Really cool concept that I'm looking forward to speaking about. Maya's not in, so guess who's doing your Daily Hour news break, folks? I have some exclusives for you. Stick with us. Right, it's me, Raj. It's me.
Yay!
Folks, don't get too excited. All righty. It's time for the Daily Hour news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Folks, a Bermuda-based doctor, Dr. Jonathan McIndola, was recently recognized as the winner of the Best Caribbean Global Clinical Specialist in the inaugural Caribbean Global Awards 2023. We asked Dr. McIndola how it feels to be recognized for his community work, and here's what he had to say.
It's a real honor to be recognized for the community work that's been done. I'm really fortunate to have a fantastic team of people in Bermuda. Through the Daily Mail, we've been able to galvanize doctors, nurses, healthcare assistants, and volunteers to really make this an initiative that's been from the bottom up. But really, it's just a reflection of all the hard work from the team.
Having been recognized in the category of Best in Health and Social Care Services for the Daily Mail Men's Free Clinic, Dr. McIndola explains why he believes it's important to ensure people have access to healthcare.
It's very important for all people, irrespective of the ability to pay, to have access to high-quality healthcare. Disparities in Bermuda exist, and it leads to worsening outcomes for those that don't have insurance or don't have proper access. I wanted to try and tackle that, especially in prostate cancer, which is the largest killer of men cancer-wise in Bermuda, and we wanted to try and level the playing field.
When asked how he hoped to inspire others, Dr. McIndola had this to say.
We really hope with the work done by Daily Mail that we can inspire all citizens in Bermuda to give back to the community, to those less than themselves, especially in the healthcare community where it's traditionally seen as financial transactions and lack of care and caring in small groups. And we just want to show that with all of the doctors and nurses, the healthcare assistants, the volunteers, we do care. We do want to help our population and do good. And I hope it can inspire other groups to offer screening for different diseases, to offer access service funds, and just increase the amount of work we're doing in Bermuda. And there is pockets of work that's done already in Bermuda, and there's fantastic work by a lot of charities, but we're just trying to show that just galvanizing the community, galvanizing doctors, nurses, healthcare assistants, and actually going into the streets and talking to people and understanding what they want and what their needs are, that we can improve healthcare quality for all.
Once again, we say congrats to Dr. Makanjola on his recent award and recognition. In other news, the Bermuda Police Service has reported that a motorcyclist is in ICU after a collision in Sands Parish on Sunday. The victim, a 52-year-old Sands man, was involved in a collision when the bike he was operating collided with the back of a van. No other injuries were reported, and police are encouraging any witnesses to this collision that have not already come forward to call Constable Shane Granville on 211 or email askgranville@bps.bm. Well, in your sports news, the Bermuda men's national cricket team are doing their thing right now. If you've been living under a rock, some spectacular plays by Kamal Lavrock, as well as Delroy Rollins and Trey Manders doing a thing. We had a chance to catch up with the executive director of the Bermuda Cricket Board, Calvin Blackendale, who explains what it means for Bermuda to beat Canada in the opening match of the Americas regional qualifier for the World Cup.
We are the front runners. The pressure's on us, but we also have destiny in our own hands. So that's a good feeling for a small island to be leading a tournament and knowing that it's up to us. We win all of the games, we are the champions. If we don't, we still have a second chance based on that run rate. So it's really up to the team to continue on their winning ways and to take it out of any of the other team's hands.
Asked what he believes the key behind this Bermuda team's success, he had this to say.
I think this is the first time in a long time that people have been selected on merit, taking out the egos out of the room of I'm the big player, of I'm the big coach, recognizing that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go directly to a World Cup and not win this tournament and have to go play against the other associates from other regions. And also noting that, it's this time to take cricket back to, I wouldn't say where it was, but take it as far as we can. Cricket's been second for many, many years since 2007. And this group can now set their own pathway in history like the 2007 groups, I think, recognized and all of that.
With Bermuda playing on home soil, Mr. Blackendale had this to say about the home crowd expectations.
We tend to wait to see if we are successful, and what we really need is for Bermudians to get behind Bermudians, all of your relatives, friends, neighbors, cousins. You all know someone on the team or at the executive or from the clubs that you support. This is a chance to show that we have pride in ourselves. With this opportunity, we can all say we're proud to be Bermudian and we support the team as we aim to qualify for the World Cup and put Bermuda, one of the smallest members of the ICC, back on the international map.
Thanks again to Cal Blackendale. You can catch Bermuda in action again today at 10 a.m. I think I speak for us all when I say let's go team. In today's weather, I expect a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 83 and a low of 76 Fahrenheit. Well, that's the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Raj, do you have a days of the year for us?
I do. Today is Boyfriend Day.
What?
Today is Boyfriend Day. So if anyone out there has a boyfriend, today is the day where you treat them a little extra special. You do something nice for them. If they deserve it, because reciprocity and mutuality. I wouldn't. If they sucked. But if they don't suck, do something nice for them today.
You heard that, ladies. The fellas got a day.
If they don't suck.
Yeah, the fellas got a day. Take care of them. Thanks so much for that, Raj. Folks, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. Come back after this. We've got Callan Bassett in. I like the concept. I think you will too. Stick with us. Get your questions ready.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo.
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field. Number 6, Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
Welcome back to the show. Roger A. Denbrook. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Windows, and People's Pharmacy. Please don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us to grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Without further ado, let's bring in our guest for the day. Let's give a warm TDH welcome to Callan Bassett from Lynk. Morning, sir. How are you? Hello, can you hear us?
Good morning. Good morning, Rajai and Jamel. Thank you for having me on today. It's a pleasure to be here.
No problem. No problem. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. So, first off, I checked out your website. I looked at the business, and I'm just like, wow, this is a brilliant concept. Really, really brilliant concept for Bermuda. But before we jump into that, just tell our audience a bit about yourself, your background, and what it is that you do.
Okay, so yeah, my name's Callan Bassett, born and raised Bermudian. I've spent the last 15 years or so in sales, marketing, and business development across many different industries here, from from the insurance sector to being a beer brand manager at Boros Lightbourne. I ran the membership department at Tucker's Point for a few years, and most recently, I was the business development manager at Age Concern, and that is where I came up with the idea for Lynk. Yeah,
nice, congratulations! I like a person who's well-rounded like that, got experience in so many different spaces.
Exactly,
but if they haven't seen it, if they haven't been able to browse the website, see any of the ads, what is Lynk?
Right. So Lynk is an online directory that connects Bermuda's customers with contractors of all different types. So if you want to find, say, a landscaper or a personal trainer or a nail technician or a hairdresser, typically what people have done is go on the Yellow Pages. That's the basic go-to resource. The problem is with those type of static directories, all you're getting is a business name and a phone number, or an email, etc. So what that often leads to is that people aren't able to rely on the contractors that they find or the Yellow Pages, because there are no type of there's no real way to check on their skill, right, or the quality of their work. So over the past few years at Age Concern, I mean, I'll just go into how I came up with this idea.
Well, hold on 2 seconds, because
okay.
I like that. Audience, if you have any questions, please put them any questions or comments. But I want to ask the audience real quickly before you go into it. How many people have heard of Lynk before? Yes or no? Have you heard of Lynk? Yes or no? But also, how do people go about using directories? Because I'll be honest, Google's my best friend. I haven't picked up a phone book and looked at Yellow Pages in ages. You, Raj?
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so I think, again, that's why I think the concept's brilliant. But go ahead, Raj. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So I heard you mentioned that you came up with the idea when you were working at Age Concern.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So where did the idea come from?
Okay, so at Age Concern, I ran their membership department. So whenever there would be member events, or if members had issues that they had to deal with in their day-to-day life, they would come to me. So if they were food insecure, if they had if they wanted to learn some type of new skill, or if they had an issue with the contractor, they would come to us, and we would use our resources to kind of meet their needs. And within the 2.5 years there, the number one complaint that I got by far, maybe twice the second type of complaint I got, was that our members would call contractors to do work, and then they would be, how do I say this? They would have a very bad experience. So we've had many situations. I had over maybe 100 different complaints within my 2 years there. And some of the stories would be that, they would hire someone and give them the money to order, supplies if they want to get their home renovated. And then once they give them the money to order, the contract would disappear. Or, I had a few complaints of, they will come to do, they will go to the halfway point of doing the work. So typically how you would pay a contractor is you pay like a third up front, a third half in the middle, and then a third at the end. Well, they would go to the point where they've done the middle work and receive the second third payment, and then just disappear. Or, you would hire contractors who would, take $30,000-$40,000 from you and would completely, mess up your home and knock down walls, and then would disappear. So again, I've had dozens, if not hundreds, of our members coming to me within that 2-year period saying that they have been swindled by a contractor and that they don't know how to recoup their losses, basically. And unfortunately, in a lot of those times, there's not much we can do. We will try to get a hold of the contractor, but a lot of times they wouldn't even, the contractor would shut down their phone number and you would have no idea how to get a hold of them. Or we would have to walk them through the court process, but that is very time consuming and, very a big hassle for our members. So on the one hand, you have members who, a huge swath of the population who desperately need to find contractors that they can trust, but don't have the ability to. And then on the other hand, I had contractors coming to me all the time saying, I'm good at what I do. I do nails, or I cut lawns, or I paint houses, but I have no real way to build up my customer base. Yellow Pages is too expensive. Online ads are too expensive. Sometimes they'll try social media, but then you kind of get drowned out by all the other social media out there. So they will come to us and say, can we utilize age concern membership to kind of get our word out there? And they will become part of what we call our merchant list, our merchants who offer discounts to our members. So I'm sitting back and I'm seeing this happen for 2 years. I'm realizing that there's a disconnect here. That on the one hand, you have people who are desperately trying to find reliable contractors, but aren't able to. And on the other hand, you have reliable contractors who are desperately trying to build up their businesses and their services, but also they aren't able to. So I sat back and I realized that there's a potential for a new platform on the island that can connect these two groups in a way that's trustworthy and that they can rely on their contractors. So that's where Lynk came about. Again, it's lynk.bm. Basically, contractors would put up their listings for whatever services they offer, their pricing, their contact info. You could have you could connect your websites and your social media profiles, as well as put a portfolio of pictures, so before and after pictures of your products. And most importantly, they can receive customer reviews and star ratings. So that is the thing that the Yellow Pages or vendor.bm doesn't have. Or, if you can Google things, but again, you might find someone's website, but do you know, are they just putting their best foot forward, or are they reliably putting out every time?
We did ask the audience before we asked the last question, how many of them have been on this site? Ebony said no. Rosalind Freeman said yes. Polly Rick said yes. Carolyn Johnson said no. But there is some confusion because Renee Simmons says this obviously a different link. There was a link, I believe, used to be attached to Cable and Wireless. Did you consider that when you came up with the name, that it may confuse some people? And how are you working around that?
Yes, I did come up with, consider that. I came up with a few different ideas, but at the end of the day, I wanted something that's short and punchy and that can, kind of reside in people's minds. And when you think of Lynk, you want to link up with someone, you want to link up with a contractor to provide you a good service. So that's why in all of my, if you see all of my, the YouTube ads and the radio ads that are coming out, it's always LYNK. I specifically say visit lynk.bm. That's LYNK.bm. So I want to really make sure that that's out there. But again, once people kind of catch on to Lynk and visit the website more, then that separation will become apparent. I mean, lynk.bm has nothing to do with link.bm. They're a service provider, basically, of either an internet service provider, while we are an online directory of contractors.
All right. So what I love about it is that it benefits the service user and the contractor. So the contractors get their service out there, and people get a very clear idea of what that service is.
Exactly.
For a community as small as Bermuda, why is something like Lynk necessary?
Well, I thought it's necessary because, again, we have an aging population. That's one of the things that we had to combat when I was at Age Concern. We have an aging population that kind of can be used very easily or taken advantage of very easily, especially by people who have bad intentions, especially or not even bad intentions, by contractors who, will go to someone's house, take their money, and then realize that there's no real check on them, right? They can disappear, or they can do a shoddy job and then argue in court or whatever. And for whatever reason, if contractors are bad actors, they don't typically get called out. There isn't really a platform to call out bad actors, except for taking them to court or blasting them on Facebook or whatever. But they can delete those messages and those reviews. So yes, we do have a small island, but I think part of the reason why this works is because we have a small island. We have a community that knows each other, that cares about each other, and that will do things like write honest reviews and give honest feedback and star ratings, so everyone can have a better experience when hiring a contractor. So yes, we do live in a small market, but I don't think that makes that changes the fact that this service is needed locally.
All right.
Better than Madge's list.
Yes, yeah. So it's a little more orderly, and it's a little more honest. So you go on. It's not just for home services. So yes, you want to find an electrician or a locksmith or a landscaper. There are all the home services are there too. But
up on there, and I saw a face painter. I'm really sorry. I just want to mention that, like, the different services that you have on there. I think somebody can face, like, it's so many different things.
So many, yeah.
But yeah, I just want to mention
I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. I feel like I'm talking to everybody today. But Rosalind Famous is saying, what's the business model of your marketplace platform?
Right. So contractors pay $19 a month for one listing. They pay $39 a month for two listings, and $49 a month for unlimited listings. So, for example, if you're a landscaper, but you also do house painting, or you have a truck and you do dump trucking, then those are all different categories that you can have a listing at each one. That being said, it is free for sign up until November 1st. So we're in the stage of building up our listings right now. There are about 150 different listings on the site right now. And there's at least one different listing in all the different categories we have.
Holly Rich, she says, my concern is who vets these contractors. I don't believe a review by others is sufficient. Well, before you answer that, I'll say this, Mark. I live in the United States, and they swear by the review. Like, swear by the review. You go to a restaurant, like, you want to go, oh, well, what's the reviews on it? Like, everything's a review. And to be honest, I only began checking reviews after the fact, like if I wasn't served. But when you see a comment like this, what do you say?
Well, again, this is an automatic kind of review and filtering through the review process. So if you are a contractor and you are a bad actor, or you just don't do quality work, then the reviews will outline that. Now there is a review process. So, for example, if someone leaves a review that a contractor says isn't warranted, then I will talk to the person who leaves the review. I would look at the work myself, and if it is warranted, then it'll stay up. So contractors won't have the ability to automatically remove the reviews, and even if that means that they take down their listing itself. So while this is a service that's geared towards contractors, the overall purpose of it is to make the contractor landscape on this island more reliable and trustworthy.
Rosalind Fame is asking, how will Lynk handle disputes?
Well, yeah. So I just mentioned that briefly, but I can go into it further. So let's say you're a contractor and someone leaves a really nasty review that you think is not warranted. Well, then they can send the query to me, and I will speak to the customer who left their review myself. I will talk to them in person. I will look at the work that the contractor would have potentially done. And then I will make the judgment as to whether this is a legitimate review or if it's a review in bad faith. And if it's a legitimate review, it stays up. So yeah, like I said, that's the whole point of this website and this platform, is to make sure that contractors are kept on their toes, and they know that there is a process now to keep them honest about the quality of the work that they put up.
Ebony Souza says she just had a small peruse of the website. Beautiful, easy to use, and oh my God, the listings. So looks like just to remind people, Raj, I don't know if you have any more questions, but for those interested in learning more, how can they contact you to learn more?
Right. Okay. So, like I said, you can go to the website, lynk.bm. That's lynk.bm. You can email us at info@lynk.bm. So info@lynk.bm. And you can also give me a call or WhatsApp on 737-3909. And also, just to say one more thing, this website, there is kind of a separate purpose as well, like a tertiary purpose. We're entering into what's called the gig economy, right? Where prices are going up, and often people can't, pay for their everyday lives just with the one full-time job that they have. So a lot of people are using their skills that they have in all these different areas to have like a side hustle, right? So that's what Lynk is for as well. It's not just for people with established businesses. Let's say you're a full-time accountant, but you can do a small business's books on the weekends. You can put up an ad for a bookkeeper. Let's say you're in insurance, but you can do hair really well. You can do the braids and the extensions and all of that. Put an ad up for a hairdresser, right? It's $19 a month. If you get one customer from that, you're more than paying that $19. So it opens up the ability to earn money on the side through the kind of gig economy and side hustles in a way that this island we just haven't had before. So I see a lot of people.
Do customers have to pay to access contractors?
No. So customers don't pay anything. They don't pay anything to leave reviews or to visit contractors. It's just the contractors who pay themselves.
Alrighty, cool. Thank you so much, Callan. This is a great idea. Like I said, I think it definitely fills a gap, a need in Bermuda. And we're wishing you all the best on this journey. Keep us posted if there's anything that comes up that we can help you with.
Thank you, my brother. Yeah, it's a pleasure being on. I hope to keep in touch with you guys.
All right. Have a great one, Callan. Talk soon.
All right. You as well.
So, Callan Bassett, if you appreciate today's discussion, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. We're going to take a quick break, come back, wrap it up. Oh, and Raj has got the daily plate. See if we can get that brain, catch him off guard. He's got a big brain, folks.
Is it?
Hi, welcome to ER Fisheries. I'm Jalen Steed, store manager and trained chef, and I'm here to help you with all of your food needs. Let's talk about why you should come and check out ER Fisheries. We offer the widest range of specialty meats and seafood items at a price point that will absolutely fit your budget. As a chef, I'm able to answer all of your food questions, help you come up with meal ideas, and generally guide you in the right direction. You'll get a custom shopping experience unlike any other food store in Bermuda, where we'll cater to your needs and provide you with excellent customer service. Where else can you get quality cooking advice and quality products? I look forward to helping you with all your meal ideas.
All right. Thanks again to Callan Bassett. Folks, if you appreciated today's conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share these conversations with your friends, your family, your colleagues, even people you don't like. Yeah. Be friendly today. Give them something good. That's the daily hour.
It looks like being friendly stinks to you. Like doesn't sit well in your nose.
Oh,
It's disgusting. Doesn't sit well right in your spirit.
well, so thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House, Linders, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we can have these conversations with you on a daily basis. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia. Now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Roger, you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go, folks. It's a remember when. Sorry. It's a remember when. Which Native American group in modern-day Florida did runaway blacks and Indians seek refuge throughout the colonial era? Audience?
Somebody show me up because I don't have that one. Native American group in Florida.
I'll read the question again. No one got it. Someone's Googling. Which Native American group in modern-day Florida did runaway blacks and Indians seek refuge with throughout the colonial era? The answer is Seminole.
Seminole?
The Seminoles.
The Seminoles.
Seminole.
Seminole.
N-O-L-E. So Seminole. Tribe. Yeah. Seminole.
All right. I've never heard that in my life. So that I actually heard another really interesting piece of history about Florida, because like when the states was taking over Florida, and like a bunch of free blacks or in Florida, they fled to the Caribbean. They went to the Bahamas. Apparently, I've never heard that before either.
I can believe that. A couple of people got it. Traveling Trotty and Brother Charles. Yeah, they got it. So, Roger, I mean, you weren't a loser on your own. I like that one. Oh, hilarious.
I like the company. I like the complicit mediocrity. I like helping each other to be losers. It's great.
Let's wrap it up, though, Raj. What's your final thoughts on the discussion this morning about this to Delwood students, and then obviously the guest today too?
Senator Emily Gill, Dr. Gill, she's made this really, really great point. I think perhaps we need to look at discouraging students from being in Hamilton afternoons. The numbers are increasing and the negative behaviors are obvious. Time for a change. And I couldn't agree more with that. I think as a community, we have to understand that our young people are a reflection of us. They're not just a reflection of their homes, they're a reflection of us. I do think we've had a breakdown in so many different things in Bermuda, especially our community values and how we engage with young people, and we're seeing the result of it now. This is something that's been a long time coming, and I hope it inspires us as a community to start moving differently. Just really quick, because I mentioned it was Boyfriend Day, right? Is that okay? So if they suck, no, right? Being restorative, this is being restorative. That person who's being sucky has to repair the relationship, right, restoratively, before they get a nice boyfriend day. No one is incumbent if they're legitimately sucky, like if they're not great, they don't deserve a boyfriend day. That's my position. They can fix it. They have every opportunity to fix it.
Sounds subjective.
I'm just saying, if they're legitimately sucky, like legitimately, legitimately. I know that's a can of worms because subjectivity is a thing. But anyhow, Lynk, I think Lynk is an amazing step forward in connecting contractors and giggers with customers. Magis List has been entertaining. It has served a certain use, but I think something formalized and streamlined and accessible like Lynk is fantastic for our economy.
Does anyone really use Magis List for reuse, or is it just like?
Well, I think you have Magis List, and then you have Petty Magis List. Petty Magis List is just for fun, because apparently people take Magis List very seriously.
Yeah, I don't spend much time on Facebook, so I don't. Magis List. Just the discussion. I think. Look, there's a root cause here, and I think when these things happen, we're always looking on the surface. We're always discussing things on the surface. I think there's so many layers that lead to this. You know, it's an example I always used to give when I worked in tourism. When Bermuda's economy changed, the 80s into the 90s, right? And you had parents that had to go and work 2 jobs because the rents started increasing. So if there were a single parent, they're working 2 jobs. Well, Raj, we began the show by talking about how much time we spend at 1 job away from our families. Imagine working 2. So children in town is maybe their parents don't have extracurricular activities. Maybe the parents are on the way to their second jobs. Sometimes children are left raising themselves, right? There's so many factors to this that we don't consider when we're ready to criticize on the surface. I think that there are so many lessons to learn from this, but my hope is on the back of what Charles H. Jefferson II said earlier. My hope is that the school and the business can work together, and actually the lessons for the children through this is, you know what? This is our neighborhood candy store. You don't rub the neighborhood candy store. You treat them with respect and love, because that neighborhood candy store could one day be your place of employment or actual business. You may purchase it. I think there's lessons, and my hope is that we work towards some solutions. As far as Callan Bassett and Lynk, I think it's a brilliant idea. I think it's easy. I think it's an opportunity for people to, instead of going on asking questions on social media, where can I find? You know what? Just go and do it yourself. Look for it. So congratulations to him and all the best. You've got some daily inspiration for us, Raj?
I do. From Mama Maya Angelou, the desire to reach the stars is ambitious. The desire to reach hearts is wise and most possible.
Folks, please don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. He's Rajay Denbrook. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We're celebrating 800 episodes. Wow. So that shows. Peace.